What is up, everybody? Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Today, much like the Human Torch guide that we just did just earlier today, actually, we are going to be taking a look at the Thing as well. So if you haven't tried this character out, if you're looking to kind of pick him up or something like that, we're going to go over all of his basic abilities, things you should be looking out for as you're using those, and kind of go from there. So this character is going to be pretty simple. I don't think there's a whole lot to go over, but there's a lot of things that you can do with him that make a good Thing player very kind of stand out from a bad Thing player. So starting off, we have this kind of 1-2 punch. This is holding down his left click, so it's going to be doing some pretty good damage, but it has a very tight range. You can see it has a little bit of reach on it, but you have to be pretty up in someone's face to actually get some value out of this. So that's going to be the 1-2 punch. This is going to technically do more like DPS than his right click, I believe, just barely, but they're going to be a little bit more situational. So the main difference between his alt fire and his primary fire are going to be just the range that you can hit people with. As you can see, I'm right here, not able to hit this bot. If I use my alt fire, it kind of carries me forward, and I'm able to actually get a hit from much farther away. So if there's a flyer floating just out of my range from my left click, I can still get some hit markers on them, still do a little bit of damage, and you can see that this punch does hit pretty hard. So does do some good damage there. The other thing that's important to note about his right click is that it's a charge up, so I'm just clicking this ability once. I don't have to reactivate it. It reactivates on its own, and it does do some cleave damage, so I can hit multiple targets with this. It's very good at getting some good cleave damage there, so be on the lookout for opportunities to do that. It is some pretty high burst damage too, so if someone's low on health, you can quickly kind of get them in a position where they're a little lower on health, and if your team is doing some pretty hefty damage, I mean, that's one Bucky headshot, and they're toast. So keep that in mind. Never have to reload or anything like that, and this is kind of like directional as well, so it looks a little bit weird, but I don't know. So yeah, moving on, we have this charge. So there's a couple of things that are interesting about this charge that he has, his left shift. So when you use it, you do knock up enemies in your path, and you control it using your arrows. You can't do it with the mouse, as far as I know. I haven't actually looked at settings for this character, but from what I can tell, you control it with your arrows. A lot of people, I think, try and control charges with arrows on PC, or with mouse on PC. So this is arrows. If you move your mouse, I'm trying to move my mouse, it's just not working. I'm just going to go right into this wall. You can cancel the charge early as well, but once you get to the end of it, it will drop a zone on the ground. That zone will do damage to enemies. So you can see they're taking a little bit of damage due to this. And also in that zone, they can't use any mobility abilities. So this does function like a Namor ult for that duration. It's a little bit shorter, but it does prevent a lot of healers from getting away. So if you get a nice charge on a healer, get some good follow-up damage, that guy cannot use any abilities, and that's usually people's gut reaction. So make sure that you're using that to get onto targets, making sure that they don't have a way out, and your teammates will be able to follow up on them. Cloak won't be able to use her kind of fade away ability. I'm trying to think of another, like Rocket won't be able to dash. All that important stuff that gives healers a way out is not going to be valuable for them in this situation. So keep this in mind. There's also a couple bugs with this right now where you can juggle someone against the wall. If there's an enemy right here and I charge them into the wall, I can kind of infinitely juggle them on a wall, and it's just the worst thing ever. So keep an eye out for that. If you get to do that to someone, congratulations. If you do it to me, I'm pissed. Yeah, all right, moving on. The last ability that we have before his ultimate is his E. So his E is this dash to an ally ability. As you can see, it has a pretty good range. So when you're charging into combat, you might get in here, drop a zone, and then you can quickly get back, dashing to an ally. You both get damage reduction, so that's pretty cool. There's a couple kind of things that you want to keep in mind. You can either use this offensively, if this is like a Wolverine and you're both about to dive the enemy team. You can put the damage reduction on them, charge in, make sure that you're keeping yourself a little bit safer, making sure that you're keeping them, having them with a damage reduction, that sort of thing. If his E is down or something, you can use it aggressively like that, or you can do like I mentioned before, where you go in, do a little bit of damage, get in a little bit of trouble, and you have to dash back out, both giving yourself and whoever a damage reduction. You can also use this to peel healers, which is pretty nice too. So if this guy's taking a ton of damage, we can get on him, make him survive a little bit of extra time there too. So make sure that you're using this as situationally as possible. You can protect a tank that's right next to you, or you can protect a backliner that gets dove and also reposition to a place where you can actually help them out. So cool ability, gives you a lot of flexibility as far as what kind of tank you want to be. The last thing that we're going to go over for Thing is his ultimate. His ultimate is crazy impactful. It has about a 15-yard range, so if I use it from here, you can see I don't actually hit that far bot, but I do hit this close one. The range of it is actually pretty, I mean, the spread is pretty wild, so you can hit a good amount of targets with this, and it does knock them up and stuns them temporarily. You can see there was that little bit of extra animation there. So the stun is pretty wild. People are just taken out of the fight for about 3 seconds. They're going to have just nothing to do, so just make sure that you're hitting as many people with this as you possibly can, disrupting the fight, taking as many people out of the fight as you possibly can. Use it like a Reinhardt, smack on the ground, and you're going to be golden. So pretty basic ability, doesn't do anything insane, but very, very impactful. So taking this and making sure that you're getting good value out of it, it's going to be something like a Doctor Strange ult, where you can really, really turn the tides of a fight with this ability. So that's the thing. That's really everything that you need to know about him, aside from his passive. He's immune to, what is it, knock up? Yeah, launch up, knockback, and other displacement effects. So that's a nice little passive effect that you get. But yeah, try this character out. He's tanky. Just make sure that you're using him a little bit more support-like. I think a lot of people just run in and take way too much damage on him, and that's really just not what you should do. Make sure that you're using this field pretty effectively, keeping people from using their mobility. And that's also something that you should note about his ultimate too. Stairs are terrible for you, so that was a little bit weird that, you know, your ult doesn't really, I don't know, it didn't work over there, but it kind of worked over here, so keep that in mind as well. Try and use it on flat ground if you possibly can. So yeah, normal spectating videos will be coming back soon as well. I apologize for not being super up to date on those, but we're definitely going to be taking a look at some Thing gameplay, some Torch gameplay, and get that rolling. So thank you again for all the support. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.